off by telling you why I'm telling you today.
That's good.
That's, I think, I don't know, maybe a good way to start this off.
Come a little closer, just
Um,
Well, we're pretty good here.
okay, let me try to...
You're fine. Keep going. When you're ready, dude.
A few days ago I realized that, I don't know, empty promises get... It's worth it, dude. Dude, you're a good commentator, man. Kick us off.
Well, I just propose, Nick just got here. You should introduce yourself.
Dude, we know each other.
You know each other. Okay.
Okay.
So talk.
introduce myself to the phone? What?
No, just, so Nick's your friend. You're telling him right now for the first time.
Nick, alright, actually, here's it. Dude, alright, do you remember when we were sitting down to dinner, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and your girlfriend said that she couldn't find any professors that basically embodied the characteristics of what she thought to be like healthy and fitness conscientious. The reason being is because this entire university, and I mean the entire university, probably the town too, is run by the CIA. And I'm not joking about that one bit. I have pretty intimate experiences with them, and this is no joke. What they're doing, and if you look across all your classes throughout any academic field, what you'll get is a mediocre conservative view each and every time. That's basically, that's kind of the essence of the community, but it's really seedy. Basically, so the teachers are basically running this kind of like a psychological operation on the entire campus. And if you look campus-wide, there was a teacher that once referred it as a culture of mediocrity. And he said it with kind of he said it in a kind of determined way. Like he was really kind of suggesting something. Like they were trying to instill a culture of mediocrity here in Macomb. And basically, from my own experience, my family, being a spy is the family business. And I'm not joking about that. Like my father is a member, and a lot of relatives too. I'm talking like aeronautic engineers, writers for major news columns, the whole bit. Basically, when I came here to Western, I recognized in the classroom very similar things to what I was raised with. Okay, basically, just to cut to the chase here, my father was essentially a tyrant, and I saw a teacher that embodied all the same characteristics, mannerisms, language, all of it basically the same way. And so I recognized this immediately and decided to toy with it. Like I had years of experience toying with this basically being raised by the CIA. I was raised, funded extensively by them. So I recognized this stuff immediately. And I started toying with the teacher. Basically what she did, there was a number of things, but this is the one thing that really set me off. There was a black female that sat in the very front row, very sweet, just attractive girl, asked articulate questions, and basically every single time she would ask a question, which was nearly every single day, the teacher would never claim to understand her. Okay, like I just don't understand what you're saying. Like move on, and then she'd try to rephrase it a different way. Oh, or are you saying this, or do you mean that? And just kind of like always toy around it, and never address it. And this isn't a class of 45 students or so. This female, she sat dead.
What subject of this? Sorry.
What's sports psychology. Sports psychology.
Okay.
So basically, this is what she was doing, and I saw this go on like 1 or 2 times, and I'm like, all right, this is going to continue to happen. So I decided to intervene. What I did was basically rephrase the question and ask it in a pretty authoritative way. I think what the young lady's asking is, are you saying it's this way or are you saying it's that way? And sometimes I'd have to beat her onto it. And if you guys need verification of this, John Meckler was in that class.
I remember him telling me about that.
Yeah, I was that guy. And I'm talking.
What semester was this?
This was spring of 2006 maybe. And I've got the entire class that'll testify to that, okay? So this teacher was doing it for a long time. All right, now this is basically this is going on. This just jousting. This jousting every single day that I was in this class. Concurrently, basically it seemed to take him about 2 weeks to understand how I could basically acknowledge it, and two, how I could confront it effectively. And it took them about 2 weeks to figure that out. And what they figured out was basically I was raised in very similar conditions. So anyway, basically once that was established, that's when they really started getting. That's when they started like dropping threats. Honestly, like this teacher would basically what the CIA does, and this probably goes for all the intelligence community, is they use double language. Okay, so they say one thing that sounds just very
double
innocent.
what?
Double language. Like everything is very suggestive. It has a double meaning. What they'll do is basically they'll talk about one subject, okay, and to outsiders, it just seems like just a run-of-the-mill conversation. But for those in the know, basically you give hints. You make you emphasize certain words, and that clues the person in the know into saying, hey, we're talking about this, and then they'll come up with a little something. And it doesn't really take much to piece these conversations together. And sometimes they can get very complex. Like, they can be basically as short and sweet as they have to be, or lengthy, and all that. I mean, you could have fun talking like that. It can be, honestly, when you're first doing it. But basically, during this class, this teacher was threatening my life, threatening to burn my house, bringing up things like just really specific things, like she knew like medical things about like my mom. Like my mom had I don't know, she had a hysterectomy, and like she'd mention things like that, like
what kind of metaphors did she use for something like burn your house down? Like,
okay, for something that blatant.
Yeah.
Basically, she would frame it in a way like this. She would say, okay, suppose you're going to a sporting event, but you just found out that your house burned down. How are you going to react to that? Really just oddball, stupid comments that to someone that's not in the know would just be like, what the fuck is she saying? And then just move on to the next thing. But for someone in the know, for someone that's basically being targeted for this, very traumatizing stuff, honestly. And I was dealing with this day in, day out, every single semester. And this is, the one I was dealing with, she's bad. I mean, she was really good, honestly, what she did.
What was her name?
Laura, sports psychology teacher, Finch. And basically, all right, towards the end of the semester, now there's a whole classroom that's being polarized by this behavior. And this is what got me in trouble. There started to be a few students in the back of the class that started to take my lead after me doing this weeks repeatedly. They started being like, I think what this girl's asking. And they would start being more insistent. This became very challenging to the teacher. She would become obviously frustrating. And basically, towards the end of the semester, there was a kid that was sitting to the left of me, okay? And this is after I think it was the Virginia Tech shooting. And the teacher came into class, and she's like, oh, we've had a tragic incident this morning, how can we, accept these things in our reality? And she